All right, we are live on YouTube, and I am just waiting for the video to connect on my other monitor over here so that I can grab that link and put it inside of our free business mastermind group so that our members can join us right here on the YouTube live easily and conveniently. All right, looks like that link is ready, so let me grab it. All right, let me put that in the group. Okay, while that is posting and cycling through, I'm going to go back and check our YouTube live to make sure that I can see the live chat because those of you who are joining us live that want to talk to us, I want to make sure I can see what you're saying so we can respond and make you a part of the show. All right, it looks like we are ready. Do you know what is the part of your potential client's journey that feels the most lonely? What if strategy to sell more offers is in the easing of that loneliness? Today, we're answering the question, how can we include a sense of belonging with our offer as added value to increase sales? So, we're talking about connection based emotional messaging for increased sales. And it's coming from this week's blog entitled How Emotional Messaging Increases Sales. If you want to follow along, please go to shaycannon.com/emotion. That's shaycannon.com/emotion. By now, you should know how important it is to really dig into the emotions that your potential clients and clients have before they resolve the problem that you solve with your offer. Because corporations invest millions and billions of dollars to figure out the emotions of consumers like us, and that's how we buy, right? Because what data has shown is we can need it, we can want it, but if we don't have a visceral emotional response to it, we won't buy it. Okay, so all of our purchases are emotionally based. So if you don't believe me, look back on how you yourself purchased. What's the last thing that you purchased? Okay, even if it was something you wanted, even if it was something that you needed, you bought it right then based on an emotion, because we have things that we need and want all the time, and we don't just jump and buy them. There has to be something that makes it emergent or an urgent urge that is emotional that makes us to buy it. So, with that big business having invested in us now knowing that data, we can apply that to our own businesses. Now, on Monday in part one, we talked about the category of fear based emotions. I gave you 10 emotions, a strategy for each. Well, did I give you 10 emotions? No, I gave you a strategy, 10 strategies for fear based emotions and a chat GPT prompt. So if you want to know how to use fear based emotion in your messaging, go back to part one. All right. Now, part two was pain based emotions. And this is the one where I gave you the 10 top pains that your service based clients usually feel and a strategy for each one. And I gave you two chat GPT prompts to go along with that. So if you need that, go back to part two, which was from Tuesday. Part three was yesterday. We talked about identity based emotions, and that has to do with the label they don't want to be identified as. And so, what would they want to feel in return? But how do we talk to that identity they don't want to feel? Okay. And you got 10 strategies. You also got a prompt. I think you got one chat GPT prompt yesterday. Okay. But that was part three. If you need that, go back to yesterday's replay. Today, we're closing out our series, and it's part four, connection based emotions. Okay. Now, connection just means you're not alone, right? You get to connect to somebody or somebody's. All right. So let's get into it. Connection based emotions are some of the most underestimated yet powerful drivers of sales because they appeal to the deepest human need to belong. When people feel isolated, guilty, or rejected, they naturally seek connection, validation, and understanding. These emotions push people toward brands, businesses, and communities that make them feel seen and supported. In moments of isolation, people crave inclusion. In guilt, they look for redemption, and that's always going to come from somebody else, right? And in rejection, they search for acceptance. Businesses that understand this can build loyalty not just through their products and offers, but through the emotional ecosystem they create around potential clients and clients. So, connection based emotions drive people to buy because purchases in this state aren't just about acquiring something, they're about joining something. And that sense of belonging, when nurtured well, becomes the heartbeat of a brand's devotion. Okay. Okay. So, guess what? I got more on this. That was pretty impactful. I'm sure it's something you may or may not have thought about. As you guys know, I talk all the time about you need to have a community somewhere, right? Somewhere online. We talked about. I have talked to you about your email list. That is a gathering of people, and it seems like it's a community, but that you can only talk to them and them talk to you individually, right? They cannot talk to each other, so that's not really a community. Okay, so you need something outside of that email list. Now, does that mean you have to have a Facebook group? Does that mean you got to go and get a school, SKOOL? Maybe not. It depends on how engaging you are with a group in your social following, right? I have seen people do very well where their actual tribe is just the people that follow them, but they are very interactive. They are very engaging, and those people engage back. If your social media is just you putting stuff out there and you get a few reactions and most of it's from mom and them, that's not a community. Okay. So you probably need somewhere where your people are segmented out and put together somewhere. That could be school, that could be Facebook. It could, if you're on LinkedIn and that's your main, they have LinkedIn groups. But somewhere you need to house a community. Okay, you need somewhere for them to go so they can feel like they're with their people, other people like them, like minds, under your leadership. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, let me pull up these show notes. So what we got today as your added value, giving you more and going beyond the blog, is top 10 strategies to use connection based emotional messaging to increase sales. Number one, turn isolation into invitation. Okay, so transform their loneliness into belonging by positioning your brand as a space where they can finally be understood. Okay, so for example, the message could be, you're not the only one figuring it out, we're doing it together. But you see how you need somewhere to gather them so y'all can do it together. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, number two, use collective language that creates emotional safety. So you're going to replace saying things like you and I, and you're going to say things like we and us to make buyers feel a part of something bigger. For example, the messaging could be, we're the kind of entrepreneurs who build freedom, not just businesses. I need to use that, right? So that could be how I'm using collective language around my community. Number three, show the emotional cost of doing it alone. Highlight how isolation slows progress and drains energy. For example, the messaging could be, you weren't meant to carry your entire burden on your back. It's time to share the load. And then you go into how your offer helps them to do that, how your community helps them to do that. Okay. Number four, expose the ache of silent success. All right. Speak to the loneliness that comes from winning without witnesses. Okay. People crave to be seen in their progress. So, an example of that messaging could be, you've been achieving quietly, but it's time to be celebrated out loud. All right. Cool. Number five, position your brand as the emotional home base. So create the feeling of finally finding their people. And for example, that can sound like you've been in rooms that never really felt like yours until now. I came up with some good messaging. Y'all need to hurry up and get these show notes, okay? Number six, create social proof that feels inclusive, not exclusive. So we want them to feel included by our social proof, okay? Not excluded, or like there's another round or a higher level of isolation. They still gonna be by themselves. It's so exclusive. You don't want them to feel that way, okay? So show real clients connecting, collaborating, and succeeding together to spark belonging. Example messaging could be, this isn't about competition. It's about rising together. That could be an example, but you would need some kind of social proof to go along with that little message, okay? Number 7, give visibility to the overlooked. So feature those who often feel unseen and unheard in your messaging to support, to build and support emotional loyalty. So an example of that messaging could be, your voice matters here because your story inspires others just starting. So that's just one segment. I'm gonna tell you what comes to mind. Shawana Kennedy and Kennedy Media. Everybody's talking about visibility and video visibility, but who you call out that is the overlooked are the people who don't want to be on camera, right? So it's not a lot of people calling them out and saying, hey, come over here with me. You'll be safe over here. I'm going to help you out, right? So that's a great one for you. Number 8, validate the unspoken exhaustion of comparison. Okay. Acknowledge the pain of constantly trying to measure up and never feeling enough when you look at other people in similar niches or your niche or similar situations. Okay. So let's see, an example of that could be, you don't have to scroll your way into self-doubt anymore. Stop looking at other people. You belong in a space your pace. That was powerful. Y'all need these show notes today. I showed. Number 9, reinforce emotional reciprocity. Reinforce emotional reciprocity. So remind them that connect decided. Okay. So they need to be giving and receiving value within, let's say, the ecosystem that you are creating for them. So your community, your group. All right. So an example is, when you show up here, you're not just supported, others on the same journey. Okay, that's a real sense of belonging. Number 10, tie community to identity. We kind of talked about this yesterday when we talked, is
It,
more about,
Well, you
uh-oh,
froze, Shay.
you were frozen.
okay, I'm sorry about that. So what was the last thing y'all heard? Because I was going.
tie community to
By
identity.
identity.
Great one. Tie community to identity. So make belonging to your brand feel like a declaration of who they are becoming. If we go back to what we learned yesterday about identity, and I gave you the example of Seth Godin and how he says people like us do things like this, right? So that's where your mission and your vision could come into play for people to tribe up around so they can become the identity that they want, okay? An example of that could be the messaging. This is where ambitious women turn isolation into impact. Kind of like Dr. Latoya's stuff, right? But you could play with that a little more. So I love that. Heather, it could be, this is where experts are taken seriously with increased credibility through books, right? For Dr. Tachi, this is where independent creators have a platform, to help them to with higher distribution or something like that. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to give them an identity that they want and tell them that we have created a community around that that's going to help them to reflect that identity. All right. Cool beans. There is a prompt, but it's the same prompt that we've been using kind of all week, where we're kind of asking it to give us customized recommendations on all 10 of these strategies. That will be in the show notes. So let me share with you what the questions of the day are. Okay, I'll put that in studio, and I know I'm going to have to cut this in half for YouTube. So let me go ahead and get the first part, put it over there. All right, let me get this second part, put it over there. Cool beans, I got it over there. All right, So, the question of the day, or the questions of the day: which emotion, isolation, guilt, or rejection, which are the three top connection based emotions, is shown most by your potential clients? Isolation, guilt, or rejection? Second question: which two of the 10 connection based strategies do you feel will raise the effectiveness of your emotional messaging to increase your sales? We're going to start with Heather, but first I'm going to give you a recap of the 10 strategies without all the extra, okay? So these were the top 10 strategies to use connection based emotional messaging to increase sales. Number one, make sure your messaging is turning isolation into an invitation into your community. All right. Number two, use collective language, that's because it creates emotional safety. So stop saying you and then I, say us and we. Number three, show the emotional cost of doing it alone. Okay. Number four, make sure that your messaging exposes the ache of silent success, right? You know, even when it comes to relationships, which we always are comparing entrepreneurship and marketing to, nobody wants to make it to the top and be alone. Right? We're supposed to be building things to share with people or share with somebody. And so your community could be where they share that. A lot of entrepreneurs don't have people who would understand entrepreneurship or the wins that we have or the problems that we have. So that could be what your community does. All right. So that was show the emotional cost of doing it alone. Number three. Let's go number four. Oh no, that was number four. Expose the ache of silent success. My bad. Number five, position your brand as the emotional home base, right? It's the place where these are their people, right? They might feel odd everywhere else, but they come into your community and they hear your messaging and your language, and now they're with their people. Okay. Number six, create social proof that feels inclusive, not exclusive. Okay. Exclusive is good in certain things, but in this vein, we don't want them to feel further isolated and alone just in a different place. We want them to feel included with a community. All right. Number seven, give visibility to the overlooked. Everybody wants to feel seen and heard. All right. Number eight, validate the unspoken exhaustion of comparison. All right. What we understand is, especially when people are out on their own, all they're doing is comparing themselves to other people, and they're not doing it in a good way. Right. You bring people into a community, and all of a sudden, what they understand is different people in different places are going at their own pace, and that's okay. Number nine, reinforce emotional reciprocity, because community is not just about you receiving something, it's also about you giving. So, also, I need you to keep in mind that if you know your ideal client persona well enough, you should know if they are highly negatively impacted by always receiving and never being able to even that out by giving something. Right? Some people don't like to feel like they begging. Some people don't like to feel like somebody's always giving, so it's like they're getting handouts. And so you need to know your person, and if that's your person, you definitely need to create the type of community where they get a chance to give as well as receive. All right. So that was number nine, reinforce emotional reciprocity. Last but not least is number 10, tie community to identity. All right. Who are they now and who do they want to be? And we have built a community where they will belong and grow to who they want to be. All right. Cool beans. Those were the 10. Let's go to Heather. Heather, which emotion, isolation, guilt, or rejection is most shown by your or felt by your potential clients? And which two out of the 10 connection based strategies do you feel will raise the effectiveness of your emotional messaging to increase your sales?
Well, good morning, everyone. So I think isolation is probably the biggest one, and I just experienced it myself
Mm.
um, with writing a book. So I would use collective language and the emotional cost of doing it alone.
Love it. I love that. I can definitely see that with people who are writing books, because they definitely feel like that is an isolated activity, right? And it does not have to be. And not only does it not have to be, you actually have a better book and get it done in a shorter amount of time when you do it in community. So I love that piece.
100%, because otherwise it's just you, your thoughts, and a computer, and like
Yes.
That's hard.
And when we say thoughts, most of the time those are intrusive thoughts. They are negative thoughts. They are those what is it, monkey brain thoughts telling you you're never gonna be good enough, stop doing this, and it take longer than
Yeah.
this to write it. But all that bull crap, where if you're in community, you have more weapons against that type of negativity. So I love that
100%.
for you. Cool beans. Dr. LaFera, which emotion, isolation, guilt, or rejection is most felt by your potential clients? Also, what are the 2 out of the 10 connection based strategies do you feel will raise the effectiveness of your emotional messaging to increase your sales?
Good morning. Isolation and collective language. You're not the only one doing this. Um, and then uh, the other one that I did 2 other ones. I did give visibility to the overlooked because we're often overlooked.
Yes.
Um, and then the number 8 is validate the pain of never feeling enough. Um, So those 3
I
ones that
like
I
that.
like.
I'm gonna add one for you, but also that pain of feeling overlooked, unseen, and
Mhm.
unheard, you need to
Yep.
highly tie that to advocacy because that's what
Mhm.
that's for, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Also, I need you to do number 2. Use collective language that creates emotional safety, right? Because as a triple board certified medical doctor, you saying we and us makes them feel safe. I'm not in it by myself. I have my own expert that's helping me. I'm not doing this thing by myself. And in fact, I have an incredibly competent partner in this journey. So I think you should use that one too.
Okay, so I thought that was number 1.
That's
So
well, collective language specifically is what I'm saying. So that was number 2.
okay.
Turn isolation into invitation, which is stop doing it by yourself. Coming to the community was number 1.
Oh, okay. All right. I
But
take that.
both of them. So you were still
Both
right
of
to
'em.
do number 1, but I added number 2.
Okay.
Cool beans. Let's go to Shawana Kennedy, Kennedy Media. Which emotion, isolation, guilt, or rejection, which is the top 3 connection based emotions, is shown most by your potential clients? And which 2 of the 10 connection based strategies do you feel will raise the effectiveness of your emotional messaging to increase your sales?
Some of my folks, they still be feeling a little anxious. Um, and when I think about the list that you gave, it's number 4, 5, and 7. They need to be celebrated out loud. They are brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But because they don't want to come from behind the scenes, that's why in some cases they are kind of alone because they are the best kept secret based off even what we were talking about yesterday. And then for me, what it is that I know that I provide, like you were saying too, is the emotional home base. It is like, come over here, hang out with me,
Yes.
because that is where it is my sweet spot. Once people get over here, they feel at home. And then also with 7 being overlooked and it's safe over here, kind of like
Yep.
all of that to me working together. That's why I said like 4, 5, and 7.
Yeah, and 7, they feel overlooked in 2 different ways, right? They feel overlooked as a business owner, and they feel overlooked as a person who doesn't want to be seen but know that they need to do video. So I would play on both of those for you, Shawana.
Okay, cool beans. Thank you.
No problem. Let's go to Dr. Latoya Davis. Which emotion, isolation, guilt, or rejection is shown most by your potential clients? And which 2 of the 10 connection based strategies do you feel will raise the effectiveness of your emotional messaging to raise your sales?
At first, I think I was going with guilt, even though that didn't quite feel right. But now I think it might be isolation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the 2 that I picked was position as emotional home base
Mm-hmm.
and validate unspoken, what does that say? Exhaustion of comparison.
Yeah. That comparison is gonna be big with your people. Because they're looking at people being the exact person they want to be every day. So, yep, love that for you. I think that's
Yeah.
going to be very impactful for you. Let's go to Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi, which emotion, isolation, guilt, or rejection is shown most by your potential clients? And which two of the 10 connection based strategies do you feel will raise the effectiveness of your emotional messaging to increase your sales?
Rejection, I would say, is shown most by potential clients. And the first one is give visibility to the overlooked and acknowledge the pain of trying to measure up.
Acknowledging the pain of what again? That might have
Trying
been
to
my
measure
internet.
up.
Oh yeah, okay, that comparison.
Comparison, yes, that's what it is.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, that's good. Ooh, yeah. I feel like once we start working these prompts to put our specific stuff in there, with all the stuff from this week, we should have some pretty tight and compelling and highly attractive and effective messaging using all this stuff from this week. That was the purpose of having this week. Kimberly said she thinks for her foot care line, especially the foot bomb, it's going to be a lot of that position your brand as the emotional home base. So I assume that in her messaging, she's gonna help them to feel a little better about them crusty feet and come on get this thing. But I think you also, Kimberly, need to give a little of that, you're not alone. Like, it's a whole bunch of crusty foot people over here. So come join us to get your feet right, type of thing. And when you get your feet right, this is what you can be doing. On the road to getting your feet right, this is what you can be doing. It's okay. Let's get you ready for, sandal season, all that kind of stuff. What is it? Summer feet are made in the winter. Just like they tell you when you're losing weight, that summer bodies are made in the winter. Summer feet could be made in the winter. So it doesn't matter where you're starting. We can try to get you there. So use all of that, Kimberly. Okay. Uh, Dr. Tachi, Dr. Tachi said, join the Crusty Foot Brigade. Well, they don't want that identity. We talked about that yesterday. So give them another identity that speaks more to the journey to sexy feet type of thing. So because everybody wants to be a part of that community. Nobody wants to be in the Crusty Foot Brigade. Hilarious. All right. So all this week we have talked about adding emotions to our the road to pretty feet. I like that. We've talked about our emotional messaging, how powerful it is. We've talked about 4 different categories: fear-based, pain-based, identity-based, and connection-based. We've talked about how important it is that we infuse emotional messaging inside of our marketing, inside of our offer descriptions, inside of our bios, our bylines and stuff. We need to use it everywhere because it is so impactful. We need to not forget that we can't get wrapped up in just the transformation. We can't get wrapped up in just the good feelings. We can't get wrapped up in what exactly it is they're going to get as a deliverable. We have to first gain their attention by talking about that negative stuff that they're feeling, and then take them on the road to, but this is the transformation and these are going to be the good feeling results. Okay. So it is important. Does anybody have any questions about the week? Any value adds or aha moments? Like, do you see the value in using this stuff and using the prompts that's going to help you to further customize it for your particular type of messaging? Any questions? Dr. Tachi said yes. Any questions, value adds, or aha moments? Or anybody want to say anything about this week? All right, great. Well, let's go on to our announcements tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's Fuck Up Night, virtually happy hour. This is the only time, or one of the only times, the rare times, that you get to bring whatever your business obstacle is and get live coaching to get unstuck in your business. You don't have to wait until a week and hope I have done a blog post on it. Bring me what's going on in your business right now. Let's get it started. Okay. So bring what's fucking up in your business so we can fix it over drinks. That is tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Tomorrow from 1 p.m. Eastern time to 5 p.m. Eastern time is a Get Shit Done work session. This is going to be, let me see. Yeah, that's 4 hours. But I want to tell you, I'm going to have an impromptu work session today, probably starting at 11 a.m. Eastern time, but I'll drop it into the paid membership Slack channel. All right. On Saturday, we are having our intensive. It's supposed to be our fall intensive, but I didn't have it in the fall. So we're having it this month, and then next month we'll have the winter intensive. But this one is going to be this Saturday, the 25th. That's the date, right? 25th. It's going to be from 10 a.m. Eastern time to 2 p.m. Eastern time. And it's, if you know about them Foo Fighters that was transformational. So we just kind of dubbing this and nicknaming it Foo Fighters 2.0. But it is the marketing to money fund, what is it? Fund your freedom. But if you go to shaycannon.com/fall, right here is that URL, you're going to get here. Okay. When you click it, it's going to take you to the sales page. All right. Now, let me tell you something. One of your deadlines is already up. I'm going to let you read all this detail about all the good stuff you're going to get. You just go to shaycannon.com/fall, come to this page, and I'm going to let you read all that on your own. But just understand, we're going to create a workflow that starts with awareness all the way to you getting paid and following up. We're going to actually create a flow for you. Okay. Now, I put bonuses and made bonuses available that's going to make it more of a fill in the blank and plug and play thing for you, rather than you trying to figure out every step and making it feel like work that you will never get done. Yeah, but one of the bonuses has already expired. It expired last night at midnight. So if you have not gotten in already, what you missed is the 2-hour super session for Sunday, and you missed a project plan that comes in the 2 different formats. One is in an Asana import, a file you can put into your Asana. But no worries if you're not an Asana project management system person. There will be a Google Doc version, and it's basically going to show you the step-by-step of everything. Make sure you don't miss nothing when you go to do your plug and play, okay? Now, tonight at midnight, what goes away is the rest of the things that help you to make it plug and play, all right? So, prompts for customization, offer optimizer custom GPT, a no-code, high-value lead magnet app that you can create, sales objection buster custom GPT, sales page dominator custom GPT, and other chat GPT prompts to make to write all of the copy you're going to need for all the funnels and things that we're going to create. Okay, so you really are kind of making decisions, and then once you make those decisions, it's going to be plug and play for you to actually get everything done. All right. Let's talk about this no code app thing. You're going to need a paid Canva account for that. I don't think that's within the free Canva. We are using Canva code to do it. So keep that in mind. All right. Discounts. All the discounts will expire automatically on Friday at midnight. Okay. It's not even a button I have to push. It's not something I need to change over. It's already set to expire. So if you go talking about, oh, it's Saturday morning, 8 o'clock. I know we got the workshop at 10. Let me go ahead and get in. Okay, you can get in, but at regular price, $297. Okay. So if you don't want to pay $297, if you're in the free group, save $170 and only pay $127. If you're in the paid group, you can save $200 and only pay $97. So free group, your coupon code is pinned as a featured post. Paid group, I think it was Monday, I already sent the coupon code, but if you need a coupon code, feel free to inbox me. But I am not going to be the reason why you didn't have one by the deadline. So don't come talking about, oh, I didn't have a code and the deadline passed. Can I still get it? Nope. Show can't. These are fast action bonuses. And you didn't act fast, so no bonus for you. All right. So that's shaycannon.com/fall. All right. All right. Well, this has been a great week. I hope you guys really use the information from this week to bring about a transformation in your business, because this is really a good one. Okay. We only got 2.5 more weeks left for the morning show. And so I'm going to think about 2 more highly impactful weeks to get in there. And then that final week, the week of Veterans Day, we're going to bring back our live coaching. It'll be your last week with me live in the morning show. And I want to talk about what you want to talk about that's going on in your business. And so that's how we will end that week. All right. Well, This has been the Her First Six Figures Morning Show, which is an interactive coaching and training experience as part of our free business mastermind group that positions Black and brown female online service-based entrepreneurs to generate your first six figures by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. Find out more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, plus get links to resources like how to join our free business mastermind group, or how to get the show notes with all of the prompts and the strategies from today and recent past episodes in the description below. If you have not already, I'm going to demand it because we had a good week. But give me a thumbs up for this episode. Make sure that you like it. Also, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. And today was just one video out of a 4-video series to be highly impactful. You really need all 4. So check out the other videos. And with that, the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great day, and I'll see you right back here on